Fucking week 12 already.
God damn it.
Dirty dozen.
Damn, fool. It's week 12 already, fool. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new Cave Sports Football episode. I am your host, Proper, joined by Field Burn, Francis, and Legit Naro. But before we begin, if you haven't already, please make your way to our website, K4V3.com/sports. That's 5P0RT5 sports. To connect with us on our website, you can find a link to join our Discord channel where you can come hang out, talk comics, anything you want. We got everything there for you. So please head to the website and join our Discord. And also a special shout out to our sponsor, SafeLightCandle.com. Visit their website so you can find all your LED lighting needs, whether it's for your home, office, or studio. SafeLightCandle.com has lights to suit your needs. Visit them now so you can stay lit for the low. And now, time for our Week 12 recap. Week 12 has come and gone, and there were some good games, and we're just looking at the playoffs now. So before we go to our playoff picture and talk about some individual games, let's run down the scores right here on our bottom ticker. Who wants to read it out? You know what, Francis? We missed you last week, so go ahead and read it out for us.
Thanksgiving, Packers beat the Lions. I was upset. Cowboys just fucking raped the Commanders.
Ooh.
Niners also. Niners.
And that's our last episode. Thank you, everybody.
Oh my god. Oh, geez.
Hey man, I was very emotional about that because that was like one of my picks on Thanksgiving. I picked Commanders 15, and I was just like, what the fuck, man? Like, I guess Cowboys this year. Let's continue with the scores. We got Chiefs beating the Raiders, Ravens beating the Chargers. Man, the Chargers, man. Bears, Vikings. Bears won in the snooze fest. Tickers coming back.
Yeah, we got to take over.
Yeah,
Oh, here you go. You got to do over.
yeah, there you go. Commanders. And then 49ers beat the Seahawks. That was a given. Jets lost to the Dolphins on Black Friday. Bucks, Colts, snooze fest. Colts won. Giants, Pats, snooze fest. Giants won. Steelers, Bengals. That was a good game. I mean, defensive battle. Steelers came out on top with their new OC. Titans, Panthers, snooze fest. Will Levis and the Titans won. Jags, Texans. We'll touch on this game. Great game. Jags by 3. Saints, Falcons. That was an all right game. Falcons won by 9. Rams, Cardinals. Rams destroyed the Cardinals to get into the playoff picture a little bit better. Broncos on a winning streak, beating the Browns, and then Eagles, Bills. Game of the week for me. That was close and
Great
in my
game.
favor. Yeah, in my favor. So yeah, let's start with the Steelers Bengals game. Naro, take it away, man.
Yeah,
I know
this is
you're
your
I know
stage
you're
right now.
happy. I know you're happy.
Oh yeah, I love it. Fantastic game overall. The Steelers broke a 58 game streak of not going for 400 yards. Literally the entire time that Matt Canada was the offensive coordinator. And the first game back, I'll be straight with you. I was not expecting a 400-yard game. I just expected more fluidity. Holy crap! It was fantastic. It was a great game. The score, if you'd watched the game, you could see that the score didn't really reflect how dominant the Steelers were in that game. There was the mess up in the end zone, the catch with Deontay Johnson. That technically should have been a touchdown, but when you're in enemy territory, they don't play screens if they know that they don't play plays on the big jumbotron if they know that it might lose it. So they didn't get a chance to go ahead and run that. And then afterwards, the fumble, that whole series should have been a touchdown. And there was another one later in the game. TJ Watt going ahead and taking the sack lead back from what's his name? The clown over with the Browns.
Miles Garrett.
Last week that was hilarious. Anyway, overall it was a really good game. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that they were playing Browning and they weren't playing against Burrow, so they didn't have the greatest quarterback in the world. but the offense looked very promising. Freiermuth has 180 yards on the season. He was gone for 5 games, but that week 12. He has 180 yards on the season. Last game, he had 120 of those yards in the Bengals game. So you could, and it was in the middle of the field all the time, somewhere where Matt Canada was not calling plays. Yeah. Everything was more fluid. Najee had a fantastic game. This is the 4th game in a row where the Steelers had over 100 rushing yards, and the Steelers were not a good rushing team at the beginning of the season. It's the first time since like 1996 or something like that. If they do 5 in a row, if they get 100 yards this week, it's going to be the first time since 1977 that the Steelers have had 5 games in a row with over 100 rushing yards. So that's crazy. It's a good game. So all you Steelers fans out there, like myself, positivity is coming our way. I don't think that the Steelers are the most dominant offense in the NFL, but the defense even noted that because the offense was on the field for so long that they had a time to rest and really play to their highest potential. So we got good things coming. I expect at least 1 win in the playoffs, and probably lose to the second round.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Okay. Playoffs? No, I mean, it's better that they let go of Canada now than waiting till after the season, because I feel like a lot of Steeler fans were expecting that he was probably just going to be on for the rest of the season. So for the Steelers to finally just cut ties with him and make work with what they have left, it's paying off a bit. I mean, that Steelers game was a good game, very defensive game, like you said, but still it shows that it looks like the offense has a little more control now outside of Canada's hands. Yeah, but you guys got any input on that game still, or we can move on to the next game? But
yeah, no, not much. Just to touch on Naro. Just I watched some of that game, and it's like night and day. How fluid the offense looked. So yeah.
Just classic low-scoring fucking AFC North game, 16-10. We all hope and dream when we see these AFC North games. Shout out to them, though, breaking that 400-yard streak. That was the biggest takeaway. But yeah, good job, Steelers.
Yeah, congrats, Naro, on the win. Next game that we want to. What's up? Go ahead.
I'll bring it all later after the playoffs. Go ahead.
All right.
Playoffs.
Next game, let's talk about the Texans-Jags game. Francis, take the lead on that one.
Hey, Texans-Jags, that was who knew the AFC South would come down to Jags-Texans? And when me and Zach were doing the preview earlier this season, we kind of just wrote off everybody else and thought the Jags were going to just stroll as the division winner. But, CJ Stroud is really that boy. He's him for real. And he showed out. I mean, if it wasn't for Josh Allen, the crucial sacks in that last game drive, I mean, that field goal probably would have went in because it was a 58-yarder and it bounced off the front post. If CJ didn't get tackled, I think he got sacked twice or once in that game-ending drive. I mean, the Texans would have won that game. So, but yeah, it's also just to show how great the Jags are as well with Doug Peterson. And I think now that Zay Jones is back, it's kind of relieving the attention away from Calvin Ridley as well, because Calvin Ridley started to open up a little bit more, and Christian Kirk has always been Trevor Lawrence's kind of safe play. And, Evan Ingram is, he's not bucking numbers, but he's a solid tight end and he's doing what he's got to do. He's getting targeted 8 times and catching 90% of his targets. It's not going for big yards, but he's a reliable target that Trevor Lawrence is relying on. And Travis Etienne, with that all combining, Travis Etienne's running game is opening up. So the Jags are looking good. I mean, they're able to keep up with a young DeMeco Ryans coached Texans team, and I think Jags are still going to be the AFC South champion by the end of the season.
Yeah, the Texans are definitely going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, Texans are definitely going to be a wild card for sure.
Yeah, the Jags. I mean, me personally, I kind of thought they would have. I expected. I think I expected too much from them, but I think they're playing just to what is to their best ability at this point. I don't know how else to put it, but I'm not shocked, nor am I surprised or disappointed how they're performing. I think the Jags, this is the best the Jags have been in a while. So if you're a Jags fan, there's a lot to look forward to. I think Sunshine's going to figure it out, hopefully, because it has to work. He shows that he can play. It's just he needs a system that works for him. And we talked about this last episode. A quarterback needs the right coach, and it's very crucial to have that. You could, like that Josh McDaniels experiment with the Raiders show, it didn't fucking work because, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, like you guys said, Texans are probably going to be in the hunt too for a wild card. Yeah, so moving on from that, another, I would agree with Francis on this one, probably game of the week, just because of how it all came down. But Eagles Bills, great showdown. Last second touchdown by Jalen Hurts to seal it all, and just watching Josh Allen's face on the sidelines, like, oh, Josh Allen balled that game though. He had a crazy stat line, so it's definitely one of those heartbreaking games if you're a Bills fan. But the Eagles definitely pulling it out with an impressive win, and overtime. I already knew if the Eagles were gonna, if the Bills were gonna get a field goal, I was confident the Eagles are gonna win this game. They can't get a field goal because once that ball's in the Eagles' hand, they're gonna win. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' take. I know Francis is your team, so start it off. What did you like from the Eagles' performance in here? And obviously, it was in a sense a high-scoring game. So what did you not like, particular from the defense that gave up too much to the Bills?
I mean, the Eagles secondary has been pretty weak the whole season. James Bradbury and Darius Slay have, been subpar, but they're not as elite as they were last year. But at the end of the day, last year they had a weaker schedule, so they were blowing teams out. And now that they have a tougher schedule, they're beating teams, and they're still, Eagles don't look as strong as last year. So I mean, I don't get it. Like, what's the you want them to blow out the Bills by like 40 points so they could for sure be, stamped as like one of the better teams. But, the Bills are a good team. The Chiefs are a great team. So I'm just glad they're figuring it out to, get these wins against great teams, because as the season goes on, the playoffs is not going to, you're going to face great teams and you need to figure out ways to win. So I'm just glad they're able to figure it out. I just don't also like in the beginning of, it's always the first half, Brian Robinson, the offensive coordinator, his play calling is very suspect. It's not aggressive. Sometimes it's a little too safe. And then he has to go into panic mode in the second half to come back. And that's when his play calling is on point. So I just need him to figure it out from the jump, rather than sometimes it's like a 3rd and 6 play, and then like he's calling like quarterback draw. I'm like, you need to do something else other than that. So besides that, I'm just happy. The Eagles are figuring it out. But at the end of the day, all Eagles, I can speak for all Eagles fans. These are nice wins, but it don't matter until we have that Super Bowl. We're holding that Larry O'Brien trophy in the hands. So I'm just glad.
To be green next year, so I think you'll be good.
Lombardi Trophy, by the way.
Lombardi Trophy, yeah, my bad.
Good Lord, fucking Eagles fans, dude.
Hey, man.
I'll tell you what the problem is. Here's what the problem is with the Eagles. All right, like it's like when you asked, I don't know what the deal is. Like, why do people expect us to be blowing these teams out? It's because the way that the Eagles have played against the teams that they should be boat racing, they're close games. And those same mistakes that they make in those games are making continuously in the games against the better teams. So that's where it's like they're not blowing out the teams they're supposed to be blowing out. They're not blowing out anybody, really. But the bottom line is they're winning. So at the end of the day, that's what takes precedent, right? So this week, obviously, we've talked about it. I think is the first true test that the Eagles have had in quite some time, actually since Kansas City. Because at least with the Bills, like the Bills are struggling, but the Eagles were at home, right? The elements I feel like played into the Eagles' favor a little bit better because they're more of a ground and pound, tough it out team rather than like how the Bills play. So I was actually surprised the Bills were still in that game at the end of that game. I didn't think they had it in them to stay close. But the way that field looked in that fourth quarter, holy shit, dude, that was awesome. But going into to me, when the Eagles went into Arrowhead and overcame that deficit, that was where I was like, all right, that talk about the BS, them barely beating the Commanders twice and
Of course.
barely beating the Cowboys, like that went out the window because you went into into Arrowhead and beat the best team in football. So the defending champs got revenge for the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
But this week's going to be fun. So I know we're going to be talking about that later. But the bottom line, like I said, is that the Eagles keep winning these games, and they're still winning, and they have 10 wins, and they put themselves in a great position to get home field throughout the NFC playoffs. And playing in Lincoln Financial Field in the wintertime is not something that teams want to do.
Right. I mean, like Francis said, I mean, the whole all these wins are great and all, but it don't matter without a ring. And I know Patriots fans would know what that means when the Giants beat the undefeated Patriots.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, and to touch on that, like when the Ravens won the Super Bowl as a wild card, they didn't have that many wins, and they came in and beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. So it's any given Sunday.
Or the Steelers and the Packers did it. They came in as the 6th seed and they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
The Giants, I think when they upset the undefeated Patriots, they were the wild card too. They had to go on the road 3 straight games.
Yeah, I mean, any team, any given Sunday, anything can happen. And I think that's kind of like the story right now for the Broncos. 5-game win streak, cemented it with the Browns. The Browns were all the talk. I mean, I was watching the game, getting annoyed of it because all the commentators was talking about how good that Browns defense was, but the Browns defense didn't do shit. So I was just like, where's that defense these guys are talking about? Broncos pulled out that win. And, as a fan, I'm pretty happy to see where this is going. I'm still kind of just, getting a feeler because, hey, this could end at any minute and I don't want to be too high up here, but everything looks good to me. Like the offense is doing enough to win the game. The defense is putting the offense in positions to win the game. But yeah, I mean, I know you guys in the beginning, rough start, 1-5. Now on a 5-game winning streak. What do you guys take away from the Browns Broncos and the Broncos going forward?
I just really like how the public still hates the Broncos, and I'm just riding them as far as the sports betting wise. They've been cashing out for me the last couple of weeks, and I'm a
you hit that
temporary.
parlay.
Yep, I'm a temporary Broncos fan as far as sports betting goes, because for some reason the public just keeps wanting to fade Russell Wilson and the Broncos, and I'm just gonna follow the trend until it snaps. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's a good sports pick analysis for that one. I can't argue that.
Zach, what was the huff and puff about?
I'll hear it. Let me hear it.
I just missed the paper bag, dude. Like I think this was a lot more entertaining with the paper bag when you were wearing that.
I have no reason to wear it.
I'm annoyed. I'm super annoyed with the Broncos. But I don't know. It's good. Congrats. Winning 5 games in a row is impressive, I guess.
The AFC needed a crappy team, and they were letting it be the Broncos, and the Broncos decided not to be the crappy team, and it kind of screwed things up. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
If you would have asked me after starting 1-5 and going, giving the Dolphins 70 points, I would have been like, "We're fucked. That's it. I wouldn't have you would be like, "Hey, you guys are going on a 5-game win streak after this." I'm like, "Fuck you, shut up." And here we are, 5-game win streak.
I also think about the fact that you guys gave up a 70-point game, and in the same season, you beat the almighty the Chiefs, smoke. That's a big turnaround for the Broncos. That is a huge turnaround for the Broncos. They got they still have a lot to prove. It is, and I know we say, damn, it's week 12 already, but again, it's only week 12.
Exactly.
We got 6 more games. They could not for the Broncos, and just because you're my friend's sake, I hope they don't. But as a football fan, I hope they screw the pooch. Screw it.
You know what? As a fan, you guys need to because Francis needs that for his bets. You know what I mean? So let the
As a
public
fan
hate on
and a
them. Let
friend,
the
I hope the
fans.
Broncos lose every game the rest of the season.
Nah.
Yeah,
And just for
as a
that,
friend
guess
and a
what?
fan.
Just as a friend, it's gonna be Broncos Eagles in the Super Bowl. Sorry, Niners. You guys.
Like,
Hey, that'd be a great Super Bowl. That would be a great Super Bowl.
Wouldn't that be a great story though? The Broncos make it to the fucking Super Bowl,
No,
and then I'm gonna sit here with like, "Hey, Zach."
no one wants to see the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
well, here's my thing.
I do.
They have the best win streak in the league right now, which makes them the best team in the NFL, right?
With the Eagles, yeah, the Eagles
No,
have a 5-game win
the
streak.
Eagles are the best team in the NFL.
Trying to jinx.
It's not a jinx. It's a fact of life.
Niners are the better team for sure.
Eagles were the best team in the league last year, last week, and they beat the Bills. Just still, like, nothing changed.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I will say this: the Broncos are going to have a test coming up this week. I understand that the Texans are the Texans, and it's not. It's the reason why they're losing. I feel is because of their defense, not because of their offense. So the Broncos defense is going to have a test this week.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans are putting yards and points up every game.
Oh, I agree. I mean, we could touch on that later on our preview, but yeah, the Broncos are red hot right now, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. I'm just staying hopeful as a fan. I'm sure there's a lot of football fans out there who are not Bronco fans like Zach, who just want to see them fall. But hey,
I'm just
keep
sick
praying
of
on
the
our
horse videos,
downfall,
dude.
and your team is going to be the one falling.
Just sick of the horse videos, man. Everyone's talking about horses nowadays. I'm tired of them.
Man, that's just what the Broncos have been doing the last 5 games. Fucking them.
He's got a point there. He's got a point.
Bring back the paper bag.
Oh, you can bring back the paper bag when I play the horse video for you, so you don't have to watch it. Moving on to fantasy football. That's why you took a 5-minute break in a restroom. I was like, "Where is this fool at?"
Come on, I pee my pants, dude. Let's get real. I'm a professional.
Oh,
Our producer,
you got to be cool to pee in your pants. Was that Billy Madison?
I'm Miles Davis, baby.
Well, with the Week 12 recap out of the way, we can look at the win streaks real quick so far. I mean, 1 game. Why is that even mentioned? Who cares? Who won 1 game? 2 games. You got Dolphins, Ravens, Jags, Giants, Packers, and the Rams. 3 games. You got Cowboys, Colts, and the Niners. And at the very top, it gets lonely up here, but it's the Eagles and the Broncos. Super Bowl preview.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
oh my god, we gotta do a recap of the beginning of episodes where he was like really irritated with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, we remember. Something's coming.
I didn't forget. I am frustrated. There's still a lot of things that Vance Joseph doing that's pissing me off on that defense, but he's making it work somehow. But his run defense is still pissing me off.
I think that the Ravens squeaked away. They should have lost that game.
Yeah, but a win's a win, like Toretto said. Winning's winning. But those are your current NFL win streaks. Hopefully, these teams keep it going. But the Broncos, we're going 6 wins, baby. 6 win streak. But yeah, so with that out of the way, we got our fantasy football recap. Oh, playoff picture, sorry. Playoff picture. Playoffs? Obviously, the clear-cut winner is looking like if it ended today, division winners. Here we go. We got the Eagles in first, Niners in second. Third, we got the Lions. It's nice to see the Lions in the mix, man. Yeah. Falcons in fourth. You know what? I'm actually just surprised the Falcons even placed with a record like that. Cowboys, followed by the Seahawks and the Vikings. And in the hunt are the Packers, Rams, Saints, Buccaneers, and the Giants. Obviously, we know where these division wild cards are going, but for in the hunt, where do you guys see actually these teams that are in the hunt actually pulling it off and securing a wild card spot?
I just want to say real quick, Zach, you're still in the hunt. You can still make it.
They're not winning the division. That was my prediction, so that ship has sailed. I don't think any of those in the hunt teams are going to make it, dude.
I think the Rams may be out of all of them, but that's like slight chance.
The Packers have been on an up streak lately, so it's possible. to switch out with the Vikings.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Saints.
Yeah, they'd have to play him at least once.
Yeah, and the Saints could possibly do it if they switch places
Yeah.
south.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Lions screwed the pooch, dude.
Oh, I know, man.
They had first place in their graphs. All they had to do was just continue to go until this game this week. They would have had first.
But maybe it was strategic placement for placement in the playoffs. Who knows?
Playing possum.
We never know the workings in the background, but sometimes people sandbag on purpose. But yeah, I guess we got the AFC playoff picture. We got the Ravens in first, Kansas City second, Jacksonville third, Miami fourth. Steelers are in there on the wild card at fifth. We got the Browns at sixth, the Colts at seventh, and in the hunt are the Texans at 6-5, Broncos at 6-5, Bills shockingly still in the hunt at 6-6. The Bengals 5-6, and the Raiders 5-7, with the Chargers looking like they're out of the picture, which is surprising because there were a lot of hopes for the Chargers. They look good, but don't know why it's not working. Staley is probably going to see his last season with them. But yeah, let's touch on in the hunt. What teams do you guys see actually forcing their way in? And
I see two teams.
Yeah, I think Broncos and Texans.
I don't see the Broncos. I'm not saying
Me neither.
The Broncos are next year. I think that the Broncos will make it in. Broncos are still playing well for the crappy team that they are, but next year, I think that the Bills are going to figure it out and they're going to make the playoffs because the farther OC and they have had two really good offensive games the past two games. So the Eagles game aside, I think that the Bills are fine. The Texans are going to move in. The two that are going to move out is going to be the Browns and the Colts. And I was going to say this real quick earlier, and I know it's not, and I'll just get this out of the way real quick. The Kansas City is going to end up winning and end up being the number one seed, and the Ravens have a very real chance of being the fifth seed, and the Steelers have a very real chance of being the number probably 3 or 4th seed. The Steelers and the Ravens are a game apart. They have 2 games apart, but the Ravens have a tough schedule ending the year, and the Steelers don't have a tough schedule ending the year. So the Steelers have a real chance to win the North.
Nice.
So I feel like that's going to flop.
Well, hopefully this all works out. I mean, Steelers going 3 and 4th could happen, but that requires the Ravens to be losing and the Chiefs winning. So it depends on a lot of factors for that to happen. But I don't think that's too far off. It could, but we don't know how these things always turn out. It's always. That's why we're here. It's just a bunch of predictions and
5, 6, and 7 aren't going to make playoffs.
Boy, get out of here.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
This lose maybe 1 game.
No, they're going to lose like 3 more games.
They have an easy schedule. The only tough people
I know
is the Seahawks and the Ravens.
They play the Ravens again, right?
So they have Ravens the last game of the season.
Okay, they're going to lose that one. That's going to be what costs them not making the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not trusting all 3 of those 5, 6, 7 teams. Bills are going to get in. I don't know. Something's telling me, guys. I don't know. Something's telling me.
We got to make that a shirt for Francis. Just wear it. Says I love it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I'll make him a shirt.
Or we can make it a full cave shirt with the I love it in quotes and then Francis with that.
I got it from D Wade. We gotta give props to D Wade on that one.
That's D Wade.
Right, pause now. This is the Super Bowl team. Pause. Can you pause it? Pause. Super Bowl team.
Like the pause game on Instagram. You guys seen those? Odds to win MVP: Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and like Naro said, put CJ Stroud in the mix. But in all honesty, CJ Stroud, look at the teams he's been playing and winning against. It's not like it's been an impressive, in my personal opinion. I look at the teams he's playing, it's like, okay, it's nothing. Let me see you play an elite team first.
All right, the Eagles lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
They
And
lost-
the Jets actually have a good
the
defense. The
Cowboys-
offense just...
If we're going to talk about the teams that they played, why aren't we talking about the Cowboys? Dak should not be in there. Now, Dak's having a good season.
I don't think Dak should be in there either.
Then that's fine. We can agree on that. Because
Well, Dak should be there.
they haven't beaten a good team yet.
Dak should be there because they have no running game. He's
I'll take
carrying
CJ
that
Stroud
offense.
over Dak Prescott, to be honest with you. But
I
I don't
would
think
too.
Dak is...
Speaking of Dak, Dak's a great guy. I heard off the field, he's a really his story. If you just quick snippet,
Yeah, well, then he could win the Walter Payton Award if he wants, but that's not the MVP.
I think he's more of an MVP than Lamar, for sure. I think he's more of an MVP than Lamar.
I don't think
Hot
Lamar
take.
should be in that conversation either.
Yeah, he's not.
And I don't think Patrick Holmes should be in that conversation either.
Hey,
Well,
No,
I don't know.
Holmes is not having a fantastic year.
I think Taylor Swift should be in the conversation for this.
Oh, I was waiting for it. But it's actually a legitimate. People are going to make.
It's a thing, dude. It's a thing. Hold on. Like, all jokes aside, obviously not for MVP because she hasn't played a down in football. But that her being in attendance is a thing.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
It's very weird. It's a real
weird
fucking
stat
thing.
line for ESPN. Games won with Taylor Swift. Games won without Taylor Swift.
It's a thing,
shut
dude.
up.
Well,
Yeah.
not only that, but how Kelsey plays.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know.
would you guys want to disagree about?
producer. I love our producer, dude.
Yeah, he's on one tonight. Out of way.
If you guys could replace Mahomes, Jackson, and Dak with other players to win the MVP, who are you guys plugging in those spots?
Brock Purdy,
Brock Purdy, I could agree with.
yeah,
CJ Stroud,
In there.
Yeah.
and Jared Goff.
No.
Goff?
Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
No.
Playoffs.
I know that
He could win most improved, I guess.
Art Rooney for firing Matt Canada.
So I actually, if and I know it's always a quarterback, it's very rarely ever not a quarterback. But oh god, he's killing it. I think that
You can
kid,
say some shit like TJ Watt, dude.
DN, the defensive, the DB from the Cowboys.
oh, Bland or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, put Patrick Surtain over him.
Bland is like,
Bro, you better get the fuck out of here with that.
6'6".
Look at everyone that he's placed in front of, and look at the star receivers, and what do they do with Surtain in front of them?
Surtain ain't got 6 touchdowns, dude.
Okay, well, the touchdowns. We're talking about
On
defensive.
defense. No, I know that's the point. He's a defensive player scoring touchdowns. That's valuable.
Okay,
That's a
but Surtain is up there for me too because he shuts down anyone he fucking covers.
Real talk. Real talk. McCaffrey maybe should be up there.
yeah.
Yeah, but I hate the fact that when people get injured, it kind of screws up their because he was what,
Chances.
2 games.
Yeah, he missed like 2 games, I think.
So that
That's
kind
true.
of. I think that you could make a question for Tyreek. Tyreek is having a hell of a season.
Yeah, it's true.
But he's not
Tyreek
beating,
Tua, I think
the
Tua could be in that
Dolphins-
conversation.
but the Dolphins aren't beating great teams either. So you could say what you're saying about Dak.
That's fair enough, but Tyreek's setting records. That's the only reason I would say that Tyreek could be in that conversation with the Dolphins teams.
Mhm.
Okay, that
Like
makes sense.
Tyreek is about to set an NFL record. He's about to pass what, Megatron?
Megatron, yeah.
So
That is pretty crazy.
All I gotta say is I have a future bet on Jalen Hurts that I placed preseason to win MVP, and God, that's looking good right now. I really hope. He
So
wins.
bold of you to do, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, with Patrick Mahomes and like Lamar Jackson being there, and it's not really a thing that Super Bowl.
Get the fuck out of here.
Not really a thing that like Super
Oh,
Bowl
God.
contenders go back the next year and do even better. So
yeah,
thanks,
Patrick
Jack.
Mahomes. What are you talking about?
Yeah, besides
Yeah,
Patrick
it's
Mahomes, man.
the weak ass NFC, dude.
Well, anything can happen any given Sunday. Took a risk, and it might pay out. We'll see.
So you play
I love it.
Sunday. Is that what you're telling me?
It
No, I
could.
play-
It could
Yeah,
happen.
like acting like he was shaking when he like put the slip in. Like I don't know, it's not supposed to be risky.
I was. 'Cause the media be voting. They don't really. I mean, Jalen Hurts finished third last year in MVP voting, so I was.
Yeah, that means it's like a thing that could happen.
No, it means like if you finish,
That's really good odds, dude.
might not make it
I see
again.
his argument.
I can see what he's trying to say,
Yeah.
but that shit ain't flying.
Kind of like how I agreed with you that like the NFC East, there's not a repeat champion, and I was like, yeah, maybe the Giants could win it. Then you were wrong. This is just one of the.
All right. That's yeah.
Eagles
Listen.
could have had a down year.
The Giants got it. Leave the Giants alone, okay?
Leave them alone.
Hey man, I'm just trying to win this bet, so when I pay for y'all drinks, because I'm definitely losing the quick hitters, it's gonna be.
He's investing into drinks, guys. Just let him have it.
Yeah, I'm losing
So-
the quick hitters. I can up it from well drinks to like top shelf drinks. You feel me?
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
Like that, baller, huh?
Went from
But
Don
now-
Julio to here we go.
Hey,
You know.
Yeah, I was gonna buy you
So-
like fucking 12 tequila shots. Now I can do like a Casamigo shot.
There you go.
I'm gonna improv here. We didn't have us on the show, but did you guys see the news today about Aaron Rodgers? They opened up the practice window for Aaron with the Jets.
Yeah.
He's throwing now.
That is a team that is still kind of in the hunt. They weren't on the graphic, like because them and the Chargers. But wouldn't that be a story if he comes back and leads them to the playoffs?
But do you send him back already with this record, or do you just?
If you're still in it, yeah, that's on him, dude. That's on him. He's talking the talk, so make him walk the walk and see if his Achilles can hold up his walk.
That is true,
You
but
hear the statistics on MetLife Stadium with the ACL and the Achilles tears.
Yeah.
It's probably nuts.
Dude, it's 80. It's like 85% of. I forgot what it was, but it was a weird stat. But there's 85 injuries in the past. Something crazy, though. It's stupid stat. I gotta look it up. I'll look it up. But MetLife Stadium's had the most issues with career or season-ending injuries that have been affected by turf.
Yeah. It happened week 1. I think the Niners played the Jets, and like Mostert and Bosa both tore their ACL same game when they played there like 2 years ago.
that's terrible, man.
Yeah. That's when I started realizing it.
You gotta switch that shit out.
Fuck that. But yeah, so moving forward, let's go ahead with our fantasy football recap. Another week down. We have our scores up. Zach, I want you to run us through the matchups and tell us the scores.
Oh, well, your boy lost to CD's Nuts, defending champ. Kind of saw it coming, man. I needed to win last week because I'm part of the bipocalypse this week. A lot of my team is out. So we'll see if I can pull this off. Johnny Lance beat Gordon Bombay. Pretty slim there. About 6.3 points. Crumbling Herb lost to Francis. Shout out Francis putting up the most points in the week. Naro continues his winning ways, staying alive, beating Slime Bucket. And our number 1 seed officially, or actually, no, sorry, clinches the bye officially. Fornicate proper, beating PQ.
I'm just fornicating the league, man.
That's
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That one.
So,
I took
not officially the 1 seed, but it definitely clinched the bye.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, this fantasy football is getting close, man. I think I have a matchup with CD's Nuts this week, and I'm like on the outside looking in. I'm at the 7th seed, and
Or
a lot of
teams
us-
5
a
and
lot-
7.
yeah, there's
There's
a lot of
4
stuff.
of us tied for the number 6 seed at 5 and 7,
Yep.
and then there's 3 people on the number 3 seed tied with Zach
6 and 6.
for 6 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I was in last place for most of the season, and I have a chance to to actually make the playoffs.
Look at you, Denver Broncos. Good job.
Yeah, man.
No, but speaking of which, we also still have people haven't paid their league fees, so we're going to have to come collect before anyone gets paid out.
They're not on the show, are they?
Call them out. Call them out.
No, not on this show. Not on this show.
He said this show, which means that someone in the show is for this.
No, I mean, I got an X and a Z. What does the Z mean?
Yeah, so the star means you got the number 1 seed, but the X and the Z means X you clinch playoffs, Z you clinch the bye.
Yep.
Ooh.
So
you can be no worse than the 2 seed.
As long as you win next week, you'll clinch the...
Dude, next week's going to be hard. I'm playing Slime Bucket, and he's slated to win. And my quarterback is out. I got Russell Wilson. I'm riding Russell Wilson for this week.
He was ready to beat me by 10, and I beat him, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing Johnny Lance, I think. We have a slide, right, for the matchups?
I believe so. We have our matchup.
Oh, that's fine. It's close, man.
Final standing projection. I am looking to hit first. Legit Naro's staying at 9th. I mean, you're not last, so
that's good.
Who's going to 10th?
Amari Cooper is kind of screwing me right now because Deshaun Watson got hurt. So anyone got a receiver?
Hey, I tried trading you some receivers.
When?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, here we go. These are matchups for this week.
I didn't see it.
All right,
All right, what's our matchups?
Francis against...
Yeah. 5 and 7. And then you're going against Johnny Lance 6 and 6.
Oh my God! I'm against Gordon Bombay. I could put him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the matchups we needed too. Like this is nuts, dude. This week's gonna be fun.
Close ones, especially Naro and Gordon Bombay. That's a toss up right there. Anything
I
can
have
happen.
to make the playoffs. Playoffs.
I know, dude. This is
Francis. You got a close one too with Aaron. That's going to be something to watch over, especially on the lineup tonight. I'm slated to lose by by almost 20 against Slime Bucket, and Johnny Lance looking to have a convincing win over Zach. But anything can happen.
I told you, dude.
Slated to lose a couple weeks already, and I still pulled out wins. So anything can happen. Hopefully that luck is still on our sides. Before we move on from fantasy football, for anyone that's hurting for players, Zach, do you have any suggestions in the waiver wire? I know it's slim pickings now, but there might be a couple things for people like running backs, tight ends, receivers, quarterbacks. Is Sam? I mean, Sam Howell's sitting in a lot of free agency. Is Sam Howell worth a pickup for someone who needs a quarterback at this stage?
Yeah, if you're desperate for it. I know. Are they playing this week? I don't know if they're playing this week.
They're playing this week.
Okay, so that's a good fill-in for if you have, I think Josh Allen's out, Lamar Jackson's out, a few other QBs are out. So yeah, Howell's there. Running back, if you still see Zach Moss on your waiver wire, pick him up. Taylor's going to be out a couple weeks. He was putting up some numbers before Taylor came back. Wide receiver is kind of a cesspool right now.
There's not much out there.
I didn't see much in any of the leagues I was in. Because obviously the Tank Dell, those guys are gone. Tight end, Freiermuth. If you have a chance to get Freiermuth, pick him up. The Muth could be loose the rest of the season for the Steelers. That would be my number one priority if Zach Moss is gone and Muth is there. Go pick him up. Big ones though, defense. This was a big week for defensive buys. Ravens are out, Bills are out. I had to drop in one of my leagues. I had to drop the Bills defense and Tyler Bass just because they were on buys, and I had Lamar Jackson in that league too. So yeah, it's not fun, especially when your team is ass and that happens to you. Defenses I like this week. The Buccaneers I think are playing the Panthers. That was a defense I was looking at. Miami is who are they playing? They're playing someone that didn't have a good offense. Miami was a good defense. Who's that?
I think Miami does play somebody this week.
They are playing.
No,
this
they are
week.
playing somebody, but I meant somebody that they could have a favorable defensive matchup against. And then Chargers are playing the Patriots. That's an option. Depending on if you trust the Chargers defense or not at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's slim pickings in fantasy right now, dude. Just look for your chance. If you clinch already look ahead to your playoff matchups.
Jerezy already claiming the belt. Slime Bucket wins. He gets the belt. I don't know why Slime doesn't get the belt, but I mean,
what the fuck? No, we're not letting that happen. The fuck? We're getting it Slime Bucket.
yeah.
I'm gonna reenact Logan Paul's pictures if I win that.
Nah.
I will say there's Paul Heyman and it's Brock Lesnar.
There's one running back. There's one running back if he's still available in your league. Kenneth Walker is out this week, doubtful. So if you have Zach Charbonnet from the Seahawks, he's probably going to get some work. But he's also have a tough matchup against the Cowboys, so it's not a priority. But if you have a running back on the bye weekend,
you need someone to fill that spot.
Yeah.
It's probably a decent pickup.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about last week too. Because next week they play the Niners, so it's like three tough rushing defenses. But everyone can use a little Marvin Gaye and Charbonnet in their lives. So,
we're gonna make that a shirt for you.
I know. Well, we can wait till next season. The Seahawks can draft Drake May, and then we can have Drake May and Charbonnet.
Trade deadline's done. Boo.
Hey, welcome to the league, Naro. Now that you're in the race, paying attention.
I'm out. I don't think there's a bunch of players that kind of got screwed with some injuries, so I'm pretty much out.
No, you're the Broncos, dude. You're the Broncos. You're gonna make
it. Legit, bro. Naro. Let's ride.
Yeah, and then you get to make a horse video to celebrate your clinch in the playoffs.
You can borrow the one that Zach's been using.
I'm all good. I'm fine.
Week 13 is this weekend, starting tomorrow. We have our preview for Week 13. Naro, run us down the Week 13 schedule.
Woo! I get the rundown. I love it. All right, Seahawks, Cowboys. Seahawks are kind of back and forth, so that could be a good game if the Seahawks are actually playing well. Then we got Chargers versus Pats. Let's hope the Chargers do something there. Lions versus Saints. That looks like it's going to be a pretty one-sided game. Falcons, Jets. Falcons aren't that great, but the Jets are the Jets, so that's going to be a one-sided game. Steelers, Cardinals. Let's hope it's a one-sided game.
That's a Super Bowl rematch of one of the better Super Bowls that we've seen in the last decade.
That's true.
Then you got the Colts, Titans. That's a divisional game. Miami versus Washington. Another losing streak, so Miami's going to win that one. Broncos, Texans. It's going to be a good game to watch. The Panthers and Bucks. That's a snooze fest if I ever dreamed of.
Sleep in for that game.
Browns versus LA. The Browns don't have a quarterback, so. Let's see. The game of the week. Everyone knows it's coming.
Here it is.
So San Francisco versus the Eagles. We got don't you guys have a bet on that game?
Yeah,
we're working it out.
What are you guys doing?
We're working it out. Should we do it right now?
We gotta do it right now. You gotta make the bet now. Or we could save it for the end of the. Let's save it for the end.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right, Kansas City versus the Packers. This is apparently the first time Mahomes has been to Kansas City, which is everyone would think would be weird, but Mahomes actually has not been in the league for that long. 5-6 years? So, first time he's going into Lambeau. It's kind of weird. Bengals versus Jags. That would have been a really good Monday Night Football game if Burrow didn't get hurt. And last bye week of the season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank God.
So, Ravens, the Bills, the Bears, the Raiders, Vikings, and the Giants might win this week.
They're not going to lose.
They're not going to lose.
They're not going to lose.
They're definitely not losing.
Yeah, I mean, pretty solid Week 13 schedule, I guess. I mean, as far as the bye week, it looks like teams that needed it and teams that are just not going to make an impact anyways. But the Ravens and Bills, final bye week. The Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these key matchups that we're going to talk about before we move on to our quick hitters and the picks. We got Chiefs and Packers. That was something that we were just talking about that we feel like it could be a good game and why. So I want to hear from you guys why you guys feel like this is a game to highlight. I mean, other than that, it's a Sunday night football game, but why is the Chiefs and the Packers something to look out for? Because on paper, the Packers should steamroll the Packers, but it could be a different story.
Yeah, the Chiefs steamroll the Packers, yeah. But the history there between these two teams is the first Super Bowl, which is always kind of cool to think about.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Mahomes' first time in the Lambeau under the lights in December. Technically, it's going to be December, yeah. Mm-hmm. Officially December. So Lambeau is a tough place to play historically in December, and they're riding off their biggest win of the season against the Lions. They're staying afloat. They're hungry for a playoff spot. They could be one of those teams that end up making it, especially with the way that the Vikings have looked recently and with the Seahawks struggling. So, on paper a couple weeks ago, I looked at this game and I was like, when I was on my rant about primetime games and not being flexed, but this one at least had two fan bases that are pretty, strong. So there's going to be a lot of good viewership here, I think. Highly doubt Taylor is going to be in attendance for this one, so we'll see how the Chiefs play. But this could be a Packers upset, dude.
It could. But
could
like I said, on paper, the Chiefs should, beat the shit out of the Packers. But just watching and, how the season's been unfolding, the Chiefs show they really need receivers. The Packers could have a chance. There's a chance. Anything can happen in that game, but
any given
Sunday. Yeah. What about you guys, Francis, Naro? Anything you guys want to put in for this game for the Chiefs Packers?
The only thing I want to say is that it's possible just because the Packers have been on an upswing, and the Chiefs aren't. Again, we've been talking about it all season. They're not looking like the first couple years that the Chiefs had Mahomes. So they've been kind of on a downswing the past year and a half. Last year, they have a lot of playoff experience, so obviously that went their way. But this game definitely could go to the Packers. It's a definite possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to touch on that, I was looking at the data regarding sports betting, and of course, the public is leaning heavily on the Chiefs as of right now. Mm-hmm. So it's been a common theme this whole football season. It's kind of nice to put your money against the public once in a while, depending on the matchup. And Packers, they play pretty well at home, and like what Zach said, historically. Also, the data shows it is a tough place to Lambeau is a tough place to play in December. So, if you're looking to bet on that game, I would lean Packers spread. I don't think they're going to win outright, but Chiefs. That's a wild.
Look how Taylor got fucking Kelsey dancing now.
Oh, he got him.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
He's just shaking it off, dude. Shaking off all the haters.
Love it.
We don't want to create no bad blood here, boys.
Oh, here we go. You got any more before we move on?
Let's just go to the next game. Let's keep it moving.
Our next game, the Texans Broncos. Oh no.
We have to talk about this.
They should make that Valentine's Day grams for next year, huh? How about that, huh? But the next game that we want to spotlight is the Texans Broncos, both 6-5, and in the hunt for the playoffs for wild card positioning, at least. Two teams that, you got CJ Stroud, who is having a hot streak, and the Broncos are having a hot streak as well. Anything in particular you guys want to point out about this matchup?
The Stroud boys are going to storm just like they're parodied, the entity that they parody. They're going to be storming just like they did. And they're going to put an end to the 5-game winning streak. Tired of the Broncos. So, shout out to all my Stroud boys out there.
Stroud boys. Ayo,
yeah, except DC is going to be Denver, right? Because it's in Houston? Or no, it's in Denver, right?
It's in Houston.
It's in Houston.
Oh, well, it's going to be the capital, whatever. Either way, they're storming somewhere.
Oh my gosh. No.
Love it.
Shout out to whoever made that
You know, I think
gotta give some
Stroud is
credit in
finally
the
going to get
post.
a real defensive test if the defense just shows up again, because that's why the Broncos have been winning. That defense has been stepping up, forcing a lot of turnovers. So that's going to be something that Stroud is actually going to face, a hot defense. And let's not forget, I'm not worried about it because, well, you know what? They are the Panthers' only win, and that's the worst team in the NFL. So the Texans, I'm not too. I think the Broncos could definitely pull this game out. It's just, we also got a coach that can put them in that position.
Transitive property, really? Because they lost to the Panthers like 7 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the only win the Panthers have had since.
What did you say the biggest concern was for you on your defense? The biggest concern was the run game, right? You can't stop the run. Devin Singletary's going to have a career day.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I will say that this is technically a playoff game for both teams because it has huge implications on where they get seeded possibly, and if they even get in, because both teams are on the outside looking in. So it's going to be a good atmosphere. It's going to be tough.
I didn't know we had John Elway on here. That's tight, dude.
That is John Elway, Horseface.
Hey, yo.
Shout out to John
We need to find that
Elway,
logo. I'll never forget when Peyton went to the Broncos and someone drew Peyton's silhouette into the Broncos logo, dude, with the forehead. I gotta find that picture. That shit was hilarious. I kid. I really don't fucking care about either of these teams. So, as much as it pains me to say, I do like when my friends are happy. So,
Thank
what
you.
happens.
Thank you.
I'm back. I think I would love to see the Broncos win, but the Texans are a very heavy yardage offense. They have been staying with and or playing good teams this year, and CJ Stroud is on a massive burner right now. So
Yeah, he's crushing it, dude.
We're just going to have to see, and I'm going to be again next week. You'll
that's
see.
my
The next episode. But yeah, and here is our game of the week. We got Zach and Francis teams facing off. We got the Eagles and the Niners. This is a very big game for both of them, especially for playoff positioning. But this is also, I believe, a preview of the NFC Championship. But I want you two to sound off. This is your guys' team. Let's hear it. What do you guys have going on for this one?
I will say that I wasn't on last week's episode, but 2 weeks ago there was talk about this gauntlet, and Eagles are only going to be 1-2 before they face the Cowboys. So all I gotta say is the Eagles are on the uptrend as well as the Niners. It's going to be a close game. I don't know why though. The Eagles are underdogs at home with the better record.
Yeah, me neither.
That's
crazy.
Kind of wild to me. Not kind of wild, very wild. I've never seen that ever. And they went to the Super Bowl last year, and they're at home field advantage. It should be -1 Eagles or -2.
That's a 4 o'clock game, right? Or 1 o'clock game, you guys?
Yeah, 4:25. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
should have been prime time.
I don't know, Zach. Maybe you can touch on this. I feel like this is gonna be a very grinded out battle because both teams are built very well from inside out, right? The defensive line on both teams are the defensive line on both teams are very good. The offensive line on both teams are very good. So the front line is going to be a battle up there. But yeah, I see Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy getting sacked a couple of times. Brock Purdy. I mean, the Niners got Javon Hargrave, Chase Young.
Here we go.
I think Jalen's gonna get his real of defensive line. But granted, the Eagles have a really good offensive line, and vice versa. I mean, Niners have Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen in the league, but Eagles got Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, and then the 2 young boys, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I will say the Niners have the better secondaries, and that's where the Eagles' weakness is. That could be where we get the Eagles lose a lose the game there. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm not one to talk shit until I get the dub. So,
Is there anybody hurt on the Eagles right now, or what? Or is everyone full strength? Because I don't want to hear no fucking excuses.
The linebacker position is weak. Or Nakobe Dean is out. I think Cunningham is out. So we got some practice, and then that's where it makes where if CMC gets loose, and then the second after he gets past the front line, if our linebackers aren't on point, CMC could get loose and go off for like a 50-yard touchdown run.
Okay, CMC is going to get loose.
It's like he did in the playoffs last year.
He could have a big game, man. I think he could have a very big game on this one.
This game, I'm so excited for. I'm overly confident on the outside, but I'm not. I'm being level-headed on the inside. This is a big game, but it's not as big as I wanted it to be because the fucking Chiefs and Bills didn't do their job. Even if the Niners win this game, they're still behind the 8 ball looking for home field, which is what I felt like long term. Because if you think about this, projecting, like say the Niners win, right? Mm-hmm. And then they will have beaten the Eagles on their home turf in December. But then it's like if they play them again, they got to beat them for a second time in Philly. Like that's tough. Like just from the outside looking in, just as a concept of that by itself, like that's a tough thing to accomplish. Beating
twice,
quote unquote, the best team in football twice on their home turf. But each game is different. Each game has different things that happen. So
right.
Last year's NFC Championship game, I was extremely confident. And then, we know what happened in that game. And deservedly so, the Eagles laid a fucking beat down on the Niners last time they played. So I'm very curious to see what remnants of that win is still there, of that, game is still there. I feel like the fans are going to be into it. The Eagles went down big against Buffalo, but they came storming back. So it's really going to be, I definitely think if the Niners can capitalize on the slow starts that the Eagles have had recently, I think they have the defense to be able to contain that. But if it's going to be a slugfest from get-go, I think the Eagles have the advantage in that aspect. So for me, the key is the Niners getting out hot and slowing down the Eagles right out the jump. Because like I said, if it's a slugfest, it's going to be, I think, a tough day for the Niners.
Mm-hmm. I know this is your guys' game. The only addition I have here is I feel like if they can get CMC loose on the outside and in the slot area, keep him away from Jalen Carter, he's going to have a hell of a game.
Yeah. They got to get the ball out of Brock Purdy's hands quick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, man. What's our bet, man? What do we got? What are we doing? Like, I know.
Yeah. Before we move on, let's get that bet out of the way.
I know you proposed me or loser wearing.
I really want to do that. I really do. Like, even if it's just headgear, I think that'd be hilarious.
I feel like
yeah, I might.
Because I found the costumes. I found one of each. So like, it would be a headgear for me, and then for you to be a full outfit, but you can just wear the headgear too. Because it is a pretty sweet looking.
How about this?
And it's only like $30, dude. So it's not even that big of a deal.
If the Niners lose, you have to come in looking like Jason Kelsey did during the parade.
Oh,
I won't be able to find that outfit, bro.
Yo, that outfit was wildin'.
No, I'll find an eagle head and wear it for the whole show next week.
Oh, and yeah, if there's some type of like, I think I mentioned before the show started, some lucha libre like Niners mask, I'll wear that the whole show too.
I'll find you something to wear.
Amazon's got everything, boys.
Yeah. Send me the link, and then
I got you.
And then you'll be surprised. Our viewers and Naro and Jermaine will be surprised.
Yeah, that'll be funny. Yeah.
There you go. Well, there you guys have what you guys are going to see.
We'll keep you off air. We'll keep each other off air until it's time to introduce to see whoever lost, and that's how we'll be introduced next week. It'll be hilarious.
Next week's going to be a good one. Everyone's going to see how this bet unfolds. Another thing to look forward to for our next episode before we get there. But speaking of bets, we got Francis with his picks of the week. So, Francis, go ahead and take the stage, and please tell us what your picks are looking like.
I'm doing 2 picks this week, boys. I'm kind of feeling it. The first pick,
2 for 1.
yeah, I gotta roll the hot hand right now. Broncos plus 4.5. I'm not picking win outright, but the Texans have been in close games and during their win streak or during their uptrend. So I think the Broncos can keep it close. I'm not counting out the Texans winning, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. So I'm buying the points. I'm buying a full point. I think if you go in your book, it's 3.5. I'm going up to 4.5 just to be safe. So yeah, I'm writing that. Hopefully, Jermaine and the boys get it done for me. And then, last but not least, of course, this is a given. Being a big game, I got Eagles. For whatever reason, they are an underdog at home. They're plus 2.5, so I'm buying the hook at plus 3 just to be safe because the Niners are a great team. They could definitely win the game. But if you're giving me the Eagles at home as giving me points as insurance, I'm going to take it. So plus 3. Hope y'all ride with me. Let's make some money this week. And yeah, check me out in the Discord of Slava Medvedenko. I have other picks outside of these picks that I give out. So we can chat, we can discuss strategies. I like to play teasers. I like to do little safe parlays, like 2-team, 3-team parlays. Last week I hit a Broncos-Eagles parlay for plus 200. So hit me in the Discord, Slava Medvedenko. We can chat it up a little bit more. And now with NBA coming up soon, it's been okay. I'm just trying to find my groove with the NBA, but as the season goes on, football is going to end eventually. So this show is going to turn into a basketball show. So
yeah,
we gotta prepare for that, boys. So hit me in the Discord. Let's talk more sports and more sports betting.
We'll plug it. Go ahead, Naro.
Quick question for the public.
Yes.
If you buy the point, does that affect money?
Yes. So, normally the betting lines, like the spread, is always going to be minus 110. So, 110, you have to bet $110 to win 100. When you buy points, you're going to lay the juice, depending on what the book is giving. So, for example, minus 130, I'm buying points for that Broncos game. Give me a little more extra insurance, but I'm buying insurance, so I have to lay down $130 to win 100.
Okay, I got it.
And that option's available at almost all books. If you're going to Vegas, you kind of have to ask the person at the window to buy the points. They'll give you the odds then, and yeah, that's how it works.
There we go. Thank you, Francis, for the picks.
Yes,
Good luck
sir.
to everyone who follows that. Good luck to you, Francis, or anyone who, like I said, follows those picks. But it's time to move on to our favorite part of the game. Francis, I know you're probably buying us drinks, but it don't hurt to play along anyways.
Yep.
Quick hitters. Before we start, Naro, why don't you announce last week's winners?
Da-da-da-da. All right. Last week, Francis did not jump in.
Good God.
It was a big win week overall. I think it's the first 13 win that we've had so far. So it's 13 to 12 to 10, which puts me up 1 on proper.
Damn, close.
10, 12, 13.
I'm doing great fantasy, but I'm doing a hell of a good job with the quick hitters.
Yeah, man.
We gotta cut after this quick hitters. We'll have a little parlay. If you can just track the unified picks. That way,
all right.
parlay too, yeah.
Let's get this started. All right, I'm gonna run it down so you guys can list it. You ready, Naro?
2 seconds.
All right, 1, 2.
Go ahead, run it.
Thursday Night Football begins tomorrow with the Seahawks visiting the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys on that one.
Cowboys.
I'm going to do the Cowboys, too.
There we go. That's number 1 at the parlay.
All right.
Cowboys. Moving on, we got the Chargers versus the Patriots. I got Chargers.
God damn it, Chargers. Even though it pains me to say that.
Zach, just so you know that your streak has continued from last week.
I want them to lose. I want the Chargers to. That's my division, but realistically, they're beating the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm running with the Chargers too. Zach has no idea.
Give me the Patriots.
There it is.
All right. Lions visiting the New Orleans Saints. Lions.
Lions.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Lions.
Give me the Saints.
What are you doing? You just ruined the parlay?
We got the Falcons visiting the Jets.
Jets.
I'm gonna go.
Oh my God, you are destroying the parlay right now.
I'm gonna go Jets. I'm gonna go Jets.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm destroying the parlay. I'm running with the Falcons on this one.
All right.
Go ahead. Cardinals, Steelers. Okay. Steelers.
I'm gonna go Steelers too. Say the Cardinals. Zach. Say it.
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Give me the Steelers.
All right, that's what I say.
All right. Colts, Titans.
Titans.
Damn.
I'm running with the Colts on this one.
I like Titans in this one.
I'm gonna go. Let's go Colts. All right, now we have the Dolphins, Commanders. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm running with it.
I'm going. All right, now we got Broncos, Texans. Broncos.
Texans.
Texans.
All right. Panthers, Bucks. Ugh, snooze fest, but I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, I got
Bucks.
you Bucks. Yeah, Bucks.
There we go.
Oh,
Browns.
wait a minute. They fired their coach, huh?
The Panthers.
Nah, Bucks. Never mind. Bucks.
Everybody.
Browns, Rams. I'm going with the Rams on this one.
Yeah.
I like the
Rams.
Rams. I like the Rams too. Yep.
Yep.
Ooh, and here's our game of the week: the Niners visiting the Eagles. Okay, so before I put my pick in, I remember we had that collision course, and I said that the Eagles were going to beat the Chiefs, and they were going to beat the Bills, but I said this is probably the team they're going to lose to. But right now, after seeing how they played against the Bills, I'm rocking with the Eagles.
Let's go. Give me the Eagles too. You already know. Naro is gonna pick the Niners. Zach, Niners, go on.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
What?
This is about. Hold on. This is also about winning pick'em too, like quick hitters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick the Niners.
I got some different picks here, so I might need to just hedge my bets and go Philly. No, give me the Niners. But I have the upset. The Niners are upsetting the best team in football.
I did call the same thing as proper. I thought that the Niners are going to be the team to beat the Eagles. I said that in the beginning of the year, and I'm sticking with it now. The Niners healthy. Let's go.
All right.
All right.
Fair.
So
Go.
before we continue, every week I write down my quick hitters, and for some reason, every week when it comes down to picking certain games, I flop my picks. And the last 3 weeks, it's ruined me. So I need to change 2 picks.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
I need to change back. I need to change to the Chargers, and I need to change to the Lions. I just looked down on my notes, and I was like,
There's a
I can't do
parlay
that.
right there for you.
All right.
yeah. So sorry. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's better you do it now than later.
I need the points
I know.
on-
I'm not doing it later. It has to be recorded.
Yeah, it has to be recorded.
Yeah. Everything else is according to plan.
Our Sunday night football matchup, which I feel like should be where the Niners and Eagles are playing, but we got the Chiefs
Fox is
playing the
great.
Packers.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Give me
Easy one is the Chiefs, but I feel like
The
Oh, here we
Eagles, the
go.
Chiefs.
You pulling a Zach?
no, I'm going with the Chiefs. But
Oh,
I
damn, I should have said that.
I'm picking the Chiefs, but I want them to lose because, like I said, that's my division.
This is that classic, like, I'm picking the Chiefs, but the Packers are going to cover. Like, classic.
Francis, you there?
Ooh, I'm sorry,
Are you frozen?
Can you hear me?
You're just frozen. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was your
Grabbing your eyebrows.
Looks like he's pulling his eyebrows out, dude.
You look like you're making a racist Asian gesture.
He loves Josh Dobbs.
Happy show, everybody.
Oh, sorry.
It's the
we're done.
Pastronaut.
That's a more like
He chose
astronaut.
Chiefs.
Yep, he said, yeah, Chiefs.
I think it's
Although he might have spelled chefs. I don't know. Is there a team of chefs? I just put chefs.
Now we got the Monday Night Football matchup. We got the Bengals visiting the Jags. Like you guys said earlier, this would have been a much better game for the Bengals had Burrow been in there, but I think the Jags might take this one.
Yep, I'm jagging off this week.
I'm not jagging off this week, but I am picking the Jags.
All right, you're lost, dude.
It's still no November. That's why for
No, that's December. That's December's game.
Oh,
we can jag off again.
But in the Discord, Francis said he's going with the Jags. So
Okay,
he said he'll be right back. But
that's a big parlay, boys.
That is a so here are the parlays. I'm sure he'll as soon as he gets back on he'll run it. But
okay.
parlay this week is going to be the Cowboys,
Mhm.
the Chargers, the Lions, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Bucks, the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Jags. That's a heavy parlay.
That's 9.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. It's a lot of money there. Potentially, you can win.
There you go.
If that hits, that's crazy.
There you go.
Oh man.
There you
Well,
go.
we'll give Francis a couple more minutes, but let's just rant out a little bit because we're actually at a point where we could wrap it up. I'm not sure if we should have Francis in here for the wrap up, but there he is.
Hey, I'm back.
There he is, just in time for the wrap up. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. That's officially a wrap for tonight's episode. To continue the discussion, please visit K4V3.com. That's cave.com/sports 5P0RT5, where you can join our Discord and connect with our sports crew. We can talk sports. Yes, football's coming to an end, but we got basketball. Francis is going to be leading our basketball segment after we're done with this whole football thing. So please come in and let's talk sports, or if you want to talk comic books, we got that. We got movies, anime, everything, conspiracies, whatever you want.
Love anime.
So yeah. You could talk to Naro about anime. He's our anime guy.
We had a crazy Thanksgiving episode last week, dude. That shit was
Yes,
wild.
we did. Yes, we did. But on your way out, visit our sponsor at SafeLightCandle.com for all your LED lighting needs. They're all available at affordable prices, so please visit them now so you can stay lit for the low. I am your host, Jermaine, or Proper, along with Legit Naro, Francis, and Feel the Burn. Thank you for tuning in again. We'll see you guys next week, and please join the Discord, K4V3.com. Hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, yeah.
Zach, you want to do the podcast in 30 minutes, Zach? Or 10 minutes? Holy shit.